I've got breaking cruise news, and it stinks. 2020 is certainly a challenging year financially, not only for individuals, but also for businesses, small businesses in particular, and small businesses in that cruise life are no exception. In today's episode of the Lido Loca Cruise Show, let me tell you about the cruise line that's given up and sending its whole fleet of cruise ships to the auction block. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Tony. If you like that daily cruise content, if you want to talk about that cruise life, I would invite you to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you don't miss out on any of these cruise ramblings. So it is with a heavy heart that I relay to you this news story. We covered it a few weeks ago, probably 6 weeks ago. Cruise and Maritime Voyages, they moved into administration in the UK. Administration is one of their terms for bankruptcy, and what happens there is they bring an outside team to come in and try to save the business. They try to rearrange things. They try to make it better so that the business can continue to operate. Well, apparently that didn't work out well, because the news is out today that Cruise and Maritime Voyages have put their whole fleet of cruise ships on the auction block. It's 5 cruise ships. These are oldies but goodies. Let's all take a moment, stare at the screen, look at these old cruise ships, and pay a respectful homage to the ships that are going away. First up is the 1993 built Vasco da Gama. It's going to be the first one that they sell. If you're interested in it, you have until October the 8th to put a bid in on this bad boy. Or girl, don't we call her she? Vasco da Gama. Next up to the auction block, the 1989 built Columbus. You can put a bid in on the Columbus until October the 12th. That is followed by the 1985 built Magellan, and that is a bid date of October the 19th. And then the 1987 built Aster. The bid deadline on that is October the 15th. And then the one that you have the longest to look at is actually the oldest. It's the 1965 built Marco Polo. The bid deadline is October the 22nd. Now, all of these cruise ships can be inspected. They are currently on display in a couple of locations in the UK. If you want to look at the first 4, you can go to Tilbury in the UK. The only one that's not there is the Marco Polo, which is in Avonmouth. You can go look at them, you can tour them, and then you can send a bid. You can do it by a sealed envelope. You can send an email. There's lots of ways to bid on these cruise ships. That might be fun to do even if you know you're not going to get it. And the story could just end there, right? We could all just lament and be sad about the auctioning off of these 5 cruise ships, but it has to be dealt with. All of these cruise ships have explorer names. And my question to you is, do you know what all these 5 explorers did? Okay, I didn't. I just looked it up. Like, there's really like a 20-minute pause since I finished the last part of the video. I'll be transparent. I'll be honest. But here, let's take a moment. Let me run through the names. What did Vasco da Gama do? Discover. What did Christopher Columbus do? Discover. What did Magellan do? Discover. Who is Aster? I don't even know who that is. I had to look it up. And then finally, what's the deal with Marco Polo? Marco Polo. Well, here it is. First up is Vasco da Gama. Now, Vasco da Gama, a Portuguese explorer, he actually traveled south around the southern tip of Africa to make his way to India. So much of this exploration and so much of life is all about the ducats, right? All about the money. And so all of these European explorers, they were looking to go places where they could generate some cash. And it's ironic that these cruise ships are now in the hurt locker from a money perspective when they're all named after people that were trying to make the money. But yes, Vasco da Gama opening up trade routes to India by sailing around the Horn of Africa to get up there and get the business done. Christopher Columbus, I think most of the people in the United States know the history. In 1492, he made his way to the New World and discovered America. Okay, maybe not. Like, I think history has shown that maybe he didn't actually make it to North America, probably down there near the Bahamas, Hispaniola. But yes, discovered the New World, an Italian dude that got funding from Spain to make the trip to the New World and to make the discovery of the New World. It's really weird because there was already people that lived here. That's a whole nother conversation. But yes, Christopher Columbus working on behalf of Spain to come over and find some new places that had some resources. And you know how imperialism is. It's about the money. Now, some could argue that Ferdinand Magellan was the Mac Daddy of the explorers, another Portuguese explorer. He started working with Spain, Portugal, right there on the Iberian Peninsula together. They worked closely. Sometimes those two countries were for each other. Sometimes they were against each other. But during Magellan's time, they worked together. So Portugal to Spain. He makes the trip to the New World, but he realizes that there might be something on the other side of South America. The Strait of Magellan takes him from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean, and the dude just keeps sailing, the first person to circumnavigate the globe. How about that for an accomplishment? All in the search of new spices. Could you imagine that? Your lovely wife is cooking a dinner and she's like, salt, pepper. Isn't there anything else? Isn't there some other spice we can go for? How about you, Ferdinand? Could you go get me another spice? Boom. He sails across the world, finds a bunch of spices, ends up at a lot of different islands. The explorer from Portugal getting it done. Now let's just jump to Marco Polo. We'll come back to Aster. Marco Polo, another entrepreneurial type explorer. He knew that there was some exotic stuff somewhere over there. Heard about this thing called the Silk Road, Asia, empires. He was in Italy. He was a Venetian merchant, and he takes a trip up the Silk Road all the way into China. He meets like this guy, Kublai Khan. Kublai Khan, this is a dynasty making dude in China. He becomes friends with Kublai Khan. He basically opens up trade between China and Italy and Europe. Maybe he's the person to blame for the China trade deal. That's too political, I know, but that joke was just laying out there. Like, if it wasn't for Marco Polo, maybe we wouldn't be worried about blue jeans in Walmart. I don't know. I'm really not going there. I just can't leave the joke alone. But Marco Polo, not only is he a fun game to play in a swimming pool, but he opened up Asia for trade with Europe. Now, the last ship, the Aster, I could really only find one famous Aster. He may be an explorer. I don't know. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. John Jacob Aster, German-born, a guy that wants to make money, moves to London, and while in London, he gets the vibe to go to the New World. He goes to North America. He lives in the United States. He starts a fur trading business with Canada. He becomes rich, one of the first American dynasties, and he dies on the Titanic. I would not name a cruise ship after a dude that died on the Titanic, but maybe this is what this cruise ship is named off of. As I went through this quick research into history, I've decided that I would not bid on the Aster. Somebody help me out if that's not the right Aster, but this John Jacob Aster perished on the Titanic. Scary. All right, did you hang for the history lesson? I don't know if that's interesting or not. It was interesting to me, but let's close the show out with a question. If you had the bankroll, if you had the budget to buy one of these cruise ships after we've looked at the pictures, after we've looked at the explorers, which one are you going to bid on? Leave a comment below. Hopefully you enjoyed the overly historical show today. If so, please hit the like button. This is Tony for the Lido Loca Cruise Show, and until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.